in the news at 5:30. It's our monthly Ask the Mayor segment.
So we'll start right out with Acting Mayor Chris Scanlon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yesterday, you had a press conference and unveiled a $17 million plan to fix 190 streets in the city of Buffalo. As an aside, Kelsey and I looked it up. There are about 1,500, maybe 1,600 street names in the city. So the question is, 17 million, 190 streets, that seems like a lot. Those are big numbers. How much does that do in comparison to the condition of the streets that we all are currently driving on?
Yeah, so it's a major investment. Obviously, it's a historic investment. The 17 million is the most that has been invested in, potentially ever, certainly in the last number of years. We're going to address 190 streets, but that's not the only work that's being done. There's other large-scale infrastructure projects that'll be done on Bailey Avenue, Jefferson Avenue, Main Street, things like that, in addition to spot repairs that we'll make throughout the year as well. So that's not the only investment that's taking place. It's an overall approach to things. I can tell you that since March, we've repaired nearly 2,500 potholes in addition to repaving these streets. So we're providing the service of repairing our streets and making sure that our infrastructure is top-notch is a top priority of mine.
We've been talking about finances in the city and how big of an issue that has been. Where did the money come for this initiative specifically?
For the streets?
The repaving, yeah.
It's a combination of things, our state touring routes money, our capital budget, things like that. There's a couple different pots of money that we use, 4 or 5 of them combined to come up with that 17 million.
Should people start seeing differences? And I say that, and I mean that as candid as I possibly can ask it, because we drive on these streets. We drive outside here on Elmwood Avenue. I drive home every day. It is in terrible shape. $17 million wouldn't seem to even scratch the surface of Elmwood Avenue, let alone 190 streets. How much of a difference are we really talking about?
No, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about nearly 200 streets throughout the city of Buffalo, and someone asked me yesterday about the impact it has. I said, well, it certainly has an impact on the people on those streets. I think a lot of people like to talk about the large infrastructure projects a lot of the time, but these smaller streets, these adjacent streets, secondaries and side streets are just as important to people who live on them. So it's obviously important to us to make sure that we're improving it. We got very creative with trying to address the potholes this year, which were worse than ever. Something we walked into over this winter season, and now that asphalt plants are open, you'll see them repaired with hot patch, and there'll be a much better situation.
It was a rough winter.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting ready to host you in a debate with all of the other Democratic mayoral candidates. How's the campaign going?
Things are going very well. We're out every day working across the city of Buffalo in every councilmatic district, every corner of those districts, out talking to people, talking about how things are going in the city of Buffalo, what's working for them, what's not working for them, and how we can address those situations. The message we're putting out there is one that we want the city of Buffalo to be the best version of itself, and I think we do that by working together. Different partners, whether it's different levels of government, our nonprofit sector, our private sector, community organizations, our residents, whomever it might be, working together, pulling in the same direction for the best version of the city of Buffalo. And I think that message is resonating with people. Based on the conversations I'm having on every day throughout the city of Buffalo, I think that's resonating with people.
One of the issues that has come up during this campaign, at least that's come into our newsroom, is about the Buffalo Animal Shelter. The folks who we are hearing from, they are not happy with the city current and past. So this is not a new issue, they say. This is an issue that's been going on for years. And they say for years, their requests have fallen on deaf ears to the city, or any promises that have been made, they say have been empty. What is the status of the Buffalo Animal Shelter? Yeah,
well, first I would say I'm not in the business of making promises. We just like to take action. And I can tell you that arriving in the mayor's office last fall, we immediately started talking about this, started working on this, trying to find a new location. We have a new location. We're finalizing a public-private partnership that's going to be extremely beneficial, not just to the animals who will reside there, but the people who care for them, the people who are involved with the shelter. And you'll see that coming out in the very near future. I know some people think we just came up with this idea recently, but if you take a look at the budget that we proposed, there's additional positions in there, an executive director position, things like that in the budget that we presented. So this is something that we've been working on for quite a while now. We're just finalizing. You'll see the new location and everything else finalized in the next couple of weeks.
Where is that location? Do you have an idea? Generally? Where are we in that process? I guess the reason we're asking and pushing is because these people want to know where we are in the process, and we do too.
The timeline.
You will see that in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Okay. Erie County launched the Crisis to Care Collaborative, which Buffalo is a part of. It's aimed at improving response times and just the response overall for people going through a mental health emergency. Is that something you see a lot of your constituents going through mental health issues here in Buffalo. We report on it a lot. And then why did you want to be involved in that?
Yeah, well, it's mental health issues, and mental health care is something that's very important to me. It's something that's touched my personal life quite a bit. Lost a handful of people in my life to mental health issues, and it's something for a number of years we've been working with other partners throughout the community on different initiatives, but this is a tremendous partnership that's been established between the city of Buffalo, the county of Erie, and so many other, Erie County Medical Center, and so many other providers that are going to improve outcomes for people. You know, far too often when you have someone call with a mental health call, the default responders are law enforcement, and we see some things that maybe take place that shouldn't take place, or people wind up in custody, whatever it might be. So there's a brand new model that we've put together where if people call, they'll be responded to in a different way and treated in a different way. And again, this is going to improve outcomes for all involved. So it's something I'm extremely thankful for. I can't thank the county enough, Erie County Medical Center, all the other different partners that are involved. I can't thank them enough for their willingness to get involved.
Earlier this week, we had restaurant owner Nick Patillo in from Osteria 166, one of many wonderful restaurants in downtown Buffalo. He is closing up, or at least shrinking some of the hours of Osteria down to a couple days a week now. And we talked to him about obviously that, but also about doing business in downtown Buffalo. And we've seen Toutant, we've seen other restaurants struggling. And again, this is not a new issue. This is something that was started from the pandemic. There are tens of thousands of fewer people in downtown Buffalo. What can the city do to make it a better business climate downtown?
Well, first and foremost, I would tell you at City Hall, we required our people back. And, you know, we want to lead by example. We want to contribute to the vibrancy of downtown. We've had conversations with some of the larger employers. They're starting to require people to come back as well. When you start to see some of the parking numbers, the revenues, things like that, they're creeping up. You're seeing people come back downtown, which is a good sign. Yeah. But from our end, the other thing we've done is a couple weeks ago, we launched a small business cabinet, recruiting small business owners to kind of take part in a cabinet to meet with us on a regular basis so that we know we're communicating with these owners, know the issues that they're facing, how we can overcome. And obviously the number of people downtown is one of the major issues, and we'll continue to work that. We see places like Ingram Micro coming downtown, helping us recruit some additional businesses, hopefully into the area in the near future, but we also want to get people living downtown. We like to convert some of the empty office space that exists into residential space, getting people living downtown, and then it's incumbent upon the city of Buffalo to work with some of the partners out there, the partner organizations, to give people a reason to be downtown after work. Right? Some people, instead of staying home and working from home one day, maybe they'll come in because there's a concert at 4:30, whatever else it might be. So we're working with a lot of our partners to that end as well.
All right. Acting Mayor Scanlon, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you both. Thanks for having me.
Seeing you.